Hello, David Pylon with Pylon Arts and Entertainment, here again to do another product review. So this time I want to talk about BetterHelp, the online therapy app. So I downloaded it a couple months ago. I wasn't sure if I was going to sign up at first or not. I was looking at the pricing and I really couldn't afford it. I ended up finally doing it once I got like a special offer. I got it down as low as they could get it, and it was still too expensive for me. I think it was about $100 a month for 4 sessions, 1-hour sessions with a licensed therapist, and that was something like 75% off or something like that. So the pricing is pretty high. I would say that was the biggest issue, is affordability. And like I said, I didn't get that offer until I went through a process where they made me like apply for financial assistance, and also kind of signed up to use it and then didn't use it, and then they sent me like an email or something that said like, why aren't you using this yet? And I said it's still too expensive, and so then they dropped another amount off. They're like, okay, we'll drop an extra however much off your price. So they got it down low enough where I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. So I just did that for like 1 month, 4 sessions. Comes out to about like $20 to $25 a session, in that range, at the cheapest that they could get it. Otherwise, it's about 2 or more times that, higher than that. So the experience it's kind of a mixed bag for me personally. I got a good therapist. I put in what I was looking for. Said preferred a male therapist because it only had a female counselors and therapists before that I talked to, and a dating coach I talked to once, also a woman. So I said I wanted a male, preferred male. I wanted to talk about anxiety and a little bit about dating life and things like that. And so they matched me with someone who basically met all that criteria. So that part was good. And he did a good job of staying in touch through emails and things. He'd give me like personality questionnaires, survey type things, and like little journal exercises and things like that. He'd tell me to go do like real life exercises and report back to him on like how that went. Like write a journal about, okay, I went here and I did this thing. His approach to therapy was ACT, I believe it was called, Acceptance Commitment Therapy, which I was previously unfamiliar with, and so I did a lot of the work itself just because I'm a curious type person, so I had to look up stuff, like what is this we're covering, what are we doing, how does this all work, and kind of figured it out on myself. And he appreciated that. He recognized that I was, an intelligent and curious person. And when we were talking about things, we talked about a lot of them kind of in psychological terms, because I explained to him, not just that I'd had counseling therapy before many years ago, but also that I additionally had like a background in psychology on top of that, and so I was familiar with like the terms and the language and stuff like that. Because he was worried at first. He was like, "Are you just like a hypochondriac, like you're self-diagnosing and you're looking up all these things, not really understanding, what you're looking at? Is that the case?" I was like, no, this is kind of my background. But I also do have a little bit of anxiety and hypochondria, where I go, okay, everything is wrong with me, and I had to explain this to him, and then he got it. It clicked with him that I was like, in my head, everything is way worse than it actually is, and like, if you give me a list of, this is one of the complaints I had. It was when I signed up for the process, it did in fact give me a list of like, have you had these, or do you think you might have these? And I was like, oh yeah, I think maybe everything has been wrong with me in my whole life. And I had to explain that to him. It's just like, are you like seriously like a deranged individual based on this, or this is just you like exaggerating and seeing problems that aren't there? And I was like, it's me seeing problems that aren't there. So he understood that right away. I was like, okay, we're not gonna treat it like you need to be hospitalized immediately or anything like that. So that was good. We did have some technical issues. So I was using the app on my phone, on my smartphone, he was using just exactly what I'm doing here, like a webcam on his personal home computer, like not even a laptop, just like a PC where he has a webcam hooked up to it because he was old school, like guy in his 50s or 60s, and so they were having trouble communicating with each other or something. He was saying he'd get like a really choppy feed or a little bit of a delay, and we'd have trouble both getting signed in and talking to each other at the same time sometimes. And so one time we're using it and we're just sitting there going like, yeah, I can see your mouth moving, but I'm not hearing any sound. And he's just sitting there going like, I'm like, no, nothing. So yeah, we did have technical issues using the app. That was one of the biggest problems, other than the cost. A therapist himself wasn't bad. We did only 4 1-hour sessions, plus like weekly emails back and forth in between, where you give me like an exercise to go do, and I'd go do the exercise, or give me videos to go watch, or watch the videos, and you ask for my response back. They'd be like, did you watch the videos? Did you do the exercises? What were your thoughts? And they'd be like, blah, blah, blah. I'd type back to them. And other than that, like, after a little bit, it felt kind of like we were starting to run over the same ground. And so in the last session we did, I told him, I was like, I feel like I've gotten as much as I can out of this experience at this point, and I cannot afford it. I just can't do another month because it's too expensive. And he understood. And he was like, if you ever decide you do want to again, you have my information. You can go back in and look me up personally. And like my account like canceled like 2 days after my last session. So I turned off. They have auto renew. I turned off the auto renew and told them no, cancel it once it goes through. I don't want to pay that again. So it's setting up like a little warning that said you will lose access to everything after this happens. So download anything you want, as far as your transcripts of your therapy session and like any stuff they sent you or anything like that. But I had everything backed up anyway, so I was like, I don't need anything on here. So I just let it go, and once you're no longer paying, they don't let you have access to any of that. You still have the app, but it's basically like there's nothing on there, which is kind of how it is when it starts out. Is that it's like, okay, we've got all your info, and we've got a recommended therapist for you, but you can't access or use anything until you paid them. And then when you stop paying them, you lose all that stuff that you got, as far as like your conversations with your therapist and so on. You can't see it anymore. And so I was surprised by that I didn't know that was going to happen. So yeah, like I said, mixed review. That was all my thoughts on it. I hope that helps you decide if it's something you want to use or not. Thank you.